an honored guest. How many of you think here that communication is a life skill? All right, I see we have consensus here. Communication is something that we do on a daily basis, whether we are delivering a speech here or speaking with someone on phone or writing an email or using emoticons or sometimes just by staying silent. We are still communicating. And also, it is said that it's a two-way process. Sometimes we are on the speaking end and sometimes on the listening end. More than that, it's just not about what we say, but also how we say it and how the other person receives it. Today, I'm going to share two stories on communication from my life and the lessons that I learned from those two episodes. In the first lesson, I'm on the receiving end of the communication. So let's go back to the year 2016. I am 21 years old, fresh out of undergrad, and I have moved to another city in India, which is Bangalore, for my MBA program. This is a new place, and my parents also joined me and to help me settle down in this new place. I attend the orientation program, and that very night, my parents are supposed to return back to the hometown. So after the orientation, when I meet them, I find them, they are waiting for me and they smile, they click my pictures, and then we all proceed down to the cafeteria there to sit and have the time. I really want to maximize this time spent with them because this is the first time I'm going to live independently without them. All the time, I'm very engrossed in my stories about the new people that I meet, the institution as a whole, because this is a new place, a new program, and they are patiently listening to it. And then suddenly, my dad says something. Arushi is mature enough to handle this now. This is surprising because all of a sudden, out of context, I don't know why he's making an assertion like this that Arushi is mature enough to handle this now. And the very next minute, my parents drop a news that my maternal grandfather, he has passed away. He passed away the last night. I am shocked beyond words. I was very close to him and he was ill, but never in my wildest dream I could imagine that we would lose him so soon. I'm shocked, but I'm more shocked because my mother was also there and she was very calm and composed all this time. And now when I have an eye contact with her, we both break down. On one hand, she's processing her own grief of losing her father, and on the other hand, she's trying to protect me from that grief. That day, I learned something that sometimes some of the most important communication happens without exchange of any words. She had that emotional intelligence that if she would have passed on that news to me in the morning, definitely I would have not thought anything except anything other than the news, and I would have been not able to focus on my orientation program. So that was a lesson. Fast forward. The second lesson is from my professional setting. For those of you who don't know me, I work on the sales side of the business. Once I was working on an estimate and I had promised to a client by a certain date. So for this estimate, I was also dependent upon the other team and I was doing constant follow-ups for the same. Now, has it ever happened that the way you intend to communicate has been perceived differently? I get a feedback from my team, from the other team, in fact, that Arushi, you are a little aggressive. Really? I mean, I'm just doing my job. So here it is. My intention was completely different, but I'm perceived differently by the team. So I have two choices now. Either I could get reactive and I could defend my approach, or I could simply ignore the feedback. Anyways, sales professionals, they are considered aggressive. So it's okay. I will take it and we'll move on. But I do some self-introspection and I realize that in the pursuit of meeting the expectations of external stakeholders, I may have overlooked upon the internal stakeholders. And so I decided I need to have a more balanced approach in managing both of them. My intention still didn't change, but I made some changes in the way I communicated with them. Instead of just following using one mode, I started using team pings, emails, and face to face interaction. One of the advantages of going to the office is that you can delay an email response, you can ignore a team's message, but you cannot ignore a person who sits right 3 desks away from that person. So I used all of these combination, and the result was better visibility, better coordination, and of course, better delivery. So, what does these two lessons teach me about communication? That it is more than just exchanging words. It is listening a little better, speaking with a little more empathy, and becoming more aware of the impact our words and our actions leave behind. So today, I want all of you to think about this question whenever you're having a serious conversation with someone next time. Am I just trying to be understood, or am I also trying to understand them? Am I just trying to be understood, or am I also trying to understand them? Thank you. Back to you, Madam